So my name is Tricia Richardson. I'm part of the Susquehanna Investigators of Paranormal Activity team. We're TAPS family team. We're located out of York, Pennsylvania, but we do investigations in southern New York, and even we've done Harper's Ferry, so kind of all over the place. And this is my husband, who says he's the honorary team member. He picks things up and he puts things down. So he helps a lot with the carrying the equipment around and stuff.
All right, tell me about the mirror and how you came about getting it, and a little bit about your trip down here. That sounds interesting too, bringing it to the museum.
Okay, so we did a home investigation in Mount Wolf, Pennsylvania. They were having issues with things moving, sounds, people being pushed. So anyway, we went out and did an investigation, and there was really nothing. We didn't find anything as far as video and sound. A few things here and there, but nothing really that would cause this. So we put a camera in, ran it for 48 hours, still nothing. So I was talking to the homeowners, and we were just going through some things, and they mentioned the mirror that had handprints on it again, and somehow that was missed in the initial conversation. So I asked about the mirror, and it was left in the house from the previous owner, who died very young. He was, from what we understand, very violent, had terrible addiction problems. So anyway, I said, we got to get rid of the mirror. Let's get rid of the mirror and see what happens. So they immediately took it down as you advised, and covered it in a black cloth. And they said pretty much instantly, no more issues.
Okay.
It was really good. So yeah, it was great. I didn't know what to do with the mirror. You know, you have to be careful. You can't burn it. You can't whatever. So I found you guys after hours searching on the web, and found your video, what you did with this mirror, and you were gracious enough to take it. So we did the road trip, and on the way down, we have a brand new truck.
Which you can hear running in the background.
Yeah, exactly. So we are halfway here, maybe a little more than halfway here.
Yep.
Stopped to have dinner, came out, and the truck wouldn't start. So it did start this morning, but we're keeping it running because it won't start, which is ridiculous. We're having to do all kinds of things with the key. So yeah, we covered it in the black cloth, covered it in salt, but I think it's better now that we put it in the bed of the truck.
Yeah. You kept it outside the cab itself. You left it in the bed of the truck.
Yeah, what we did that. We didn't want to make the trip down here like that in case it broke, which I knew would make it even worse. But yeah, so the other thing, when we were investigating, the house is a pretty nice sized house, but the bathroom where the mirror was is the one place I would not go into. I went right on the edge. It gave me an incredibly bad feeling, like almost a wall. So even though we've been in the house probably 3 or 4 times, I have never looked in that mirror. So I feel pretty good about that part. So yeah.
So how you guys have worked on the TAPS team, doing these paranormal investigations. Is this one of the more unusual ones you've come across where you've had to deal with an item?
Not really. You know, probably 60% of our investigations are home investigations. 40% we like to do like historical sites, because where we are, you know, there's a lot of history. But the one thing I found is when people keep things in houses that when they've bought it, you know, oh, we'll just keep the mirror up. That's problematic. And probably the worst one of the worst was where somebody liked to go to flea markets and grab stuff and bring it in the house. So we spent hours walking around saying, okay, that needs to go, using our equipment, using our mediums, dowsing rods, everything. That needs to go, that needs to go. He had buckets full of stuff. So that we find to be very typical. People bring things in because it like calls out to them if they're at yard sales or flea markets or whatever, not realizing that maybe that's not a good one. So mirrors paint pictures. That's huge. Keeping pictures up of people, you know, beds beds that people buy that have issues. This was definitely one of the more interesting because we were able to pinpoint what was causing the issue. And we feel pretty confident that now that now that they turned it around and they're not having issues, that we feel pretty good about that. We went in and helped them. And that's what we do. We
Right.
investigate and we try to help them. And so that's really important to us. We don't want to just investigate, say, yeah, your mirror's a hot mess, and then leave. We want to help. So, but that was interesting about this one. Sometimes you don't have the finality. You can only help a little
Right.
bit. But yeah, so this was one of the few like that. This one was definitely what was causing a lot of strife, especially for they had a daughter who was pregnant staying with them.
Oh,
And it
okay.
was particularly drawn to her. She's since had the baby, but so that concerned us as well.
Now,
But,
what were they actually experiencing? Go a little more in detail into that. Whether you shadow people, voices, or what?
so the house, there was a bedroom, the bedroom where the daughter slept, and then at the bathroom that sort of connected them. There is a rocking chair that would start rocking. I can actually share that video with you. She
Okay.
sent it to me. She would get touched. A lot of it focused on the pregnant daughter. She was scratched. She was pushed. And she would get out of the shower. There'd be handprints on the mirror. I think one of them said hello. They had a hello and then her name. So it was definitely more centered around her and her son a little bit. But yeah, so that's really the biggest problems that they were having. The rocking chair moving on its own, that was right next to the bathroom. Some
Okay.
shadows here and there, but the mirror was the big thing.
There are plans here for today. Are basically going to be set the mirror up. We're not going to do much with it right away. What we're going to do is put surveillance on it and see how it interacts with the other things in here, and if we
Oh.
get any kind of sounds or movement or anything unique and different from it. So.
No, that would be great because I know the family feels a lot better when we picked up the mirror. They felt a lot better because the house had calmed down a lot, and they weren't having any more issues. So I think the other thing that's really helped our team is partnering with other organizations, like partnering with you to bring this mirror down here, because we wouldn't know what to do with it. We partner with a local metaphysical store to do other things if there's issues. We're investigators. We investigate, we gather evidence, and then we try to help. But we're not demonologists. We're not. So, so that I think is important for paranormal teams too, to collaborate.
I agree. We all need to work together and help one another.
Exactly, exactly.
Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate you guys doing the long trip, and I hope your truck recovers.
I think it'll be fine.
All right, this is the mirror that was just dropped off. The couple just left. The mirror they've had issues with. They're part of a TAPS team, paranormal group. So they came down, gave me a call about a month ago, and said they wanted to take this mirror, help them remove it from the location. And since we've become a place to manage and store and take care of the caretakers of items like this, you can see they have the salt that they placed on it. They drove down here in a new Dodge truck that the husband just got and had no issues with. After putting the mirror in on their trip down from Pennsylvania here, they stopped the truck to stop someplace to get something to eat, and it wouldn't start again. So they were hoping now I'll reach out to them on the way when they get back up to PA and see how it went. This is the mirror. It's covered with a cloth. You can see a little part of it here. Well, it's facing down, so you can see a little bit of the material here. So we're going to place this mirror in the museum. I just want to document what we have. I'm going to put it in a safe place for now, so it's out of the way where nobody can touch it. And we'll keep you up to date. We're going to put surveillance on it, see if anything happens. We get any kind of, sounds, movement, anything from it. But once again, this is kind of what we do in this museum. People reach out to us, bring us things, and we get things all the time. All right, we'll be in touch. Let you know what happens.